Dear future generations, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say, sorry. Sorry we left you with our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our own doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing. I hope you forgive us. We just didn't realize how special the earth was, like a marriage gone wrong. We didn't know what we had until it was gone. For example, I'm guessing you probably know it as the Amazon desert, right? Well, believe it or not, it was once called the Amazon rainforest, and there were billions of trees there, all of them gorgeous. And oh, you don't know much about trees, do you? Well, let me tell you, trees are amazing. I mean, we literally breathe the air they are creating. They clean up our pollution, our carbon. They store and purify water, give us medicine that cures our diseases, food that feeds us, which is why I'm so sorry to tell you that we burn them down. Cut them down with brutal machines, horrific, at a rate of 40 football fields every minute. That's 50% of all the trees in the world gone in the last 100 years. Why? For this. And that wouldn't make me so sad if it weren't so many pictures of leaves on it. You know, when I was a child, I read how the Native Americans had such consideration for the planet that they felt responsible for how they left the land for the next 7 generations. Which brings me great sorrow, because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we put profit above people, greed above need, the rule of gold above the golden rule. I'm sorry we use nature as a credit card with no spending limit, overdrafting animals to extinction, stealing your chance to ever see their uniqueness or become friends with them. Sorry we poison the ocean so much that you can't even swim in them. But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset, because we had the nerve to call this destruction progress. Hey, Fox News, if you don't think climate change is a threat, I dare you to interview the thousands of homeless people in Bangladesh. See, while you were in your penthouse nestled, their homes were literally washed away beneath their feet due to rising sea levels. And Sarah Palin, you said that you love the smell of fossil fuels. Well, I urge you to talk to the kids of Beijing who are forced to wear pollution masks just to go to school. See, you can ignore this, but the thing about truth is, it can be denied, not avoided. So I'm sorry, future generations. I'm sorry that our footprint became a sinkhole and not a garden. I'm sorry that we paid so much attention to ISIS and very little to how fast the ice is melting in the Arctic. I'm sorry we doomed you, and I'm sorry we couldn't find another planet in time to move to. You know what? Cut the beat. I'm not sorry. This future, I do not accept it. Because an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How? Let me suggest that if a farmer sees a tree that is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it, they look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root and not to the branches of government, not to the politicians run by corporations. We are the root, we are the foundation. This generation, it is up to us to take care of this planet. It is our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climate of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature. We are a part of nature, and to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us, because whatever you're fighting for, racism or poverty, feminism, gay rights, or any type of equality, it won't matter in the least. Because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we will be equally extinct. So.
Okay, good day, everyone. Please confirm that you can hear me. Just with this thumbs up,
Yes,
confirm that you can
yes,
hear
indeed.
me. All
We
right.
can
Thank you
hear
so much,
you.
sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa. All right. Yes, it's a good one, and welcome back again to the SDG Roundtable series. And yes, we are in the month of April, and we have another topic to discuss for this month. And I want to tell you that this is going to be interesting. And I know that now you can see that there's a lot that we need to do. Yes, we're doing a lot of harm to our society just for money. But here we have today, we're talking about more development in the community while we still help the nature. Yes, and that is what we'll be discussing more about today. So today's topic is going to be balancing development and conservation, pathways to a sustainable future. Okay, once again, my name is Yetunde Junaid, and I am the Program Associate for AF Africa. So welcome everyone, welcome back to the Roundtable series for April. It's nice to have you here. So yeah, I do love people to introduce themselves. I want to meet you. I want you to connect with each other and also collaborate so that we can make our community, our nation, our world a better place to live. So yes, I am Yetunde Unite, Program Associate for ADF Africa, and I am from Nigeria. Yes, presently now, I'm still from Nigeria until another country comes to steal me away, hopefully. All right, thank you so much, everyone. So let's put our name and where we're at. Okay, I can see Ebute Vincent joining from Abuja, Nigeria. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, I can see someone. Okay, hi everyone. Ene
Thank you
Ukuwulu
very
from
much. Thank you very
Abuja.
much.
All right, all right. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's nice to have you all here as we'll be discussing more about
Thank you
today's
very much
topic on
because
SDGs
we are
Roundtable
doing
series.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to read out your chats. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So you're welcome. It's an honor to have you again on this section. Yes, I've told you all today that we'll be talking about sustainability, development, a lot today. So today's theme, the theme for April edition is balancing development and conservation. And we're talking about want to dive into the pathways to a sustainable future. Yes, we want to develop, have big companies, skyscrapers, and everything. But how can we still maintain the things that we have that is keeping us sustainable in our community, in our nation, in our world as a whole? So this is what we'll be discussing today. So I want to say once again, welcome once again to the SDG Roundtable series. So I'm going to be passing the mic on to Mr. Mayowa right now. Mr. Mayowa, you can
Yes,
have
you
the mic
can.
now, sir.
Thank you very much. And I think I'd like to start by saying a warm morning, afternoon, and evening to each and every one of us on the call right now. I can see participants are joining from different countries. I see some joining from Nigeria. I see some from Benin, and I see from Uganda, and all of that, and all of that. So it is my delight once again to meet you all this very afternoon. And of course, I'd love to always be on the round table because this is where each and every one of us have the opportunity to speak out our mind, to recommend and suggest, uh, you know, the solutions that we think are worthy of enabling us to have a sustainable future. May I also welcome our participants who are joining on the YouTube link. We see you all. I see all the comments going on there. Yes, it's nice having you on the show once again this very day. So this afternoon we are looking at a beautiful topic. I call it a beautiful topic because it is one that controls the past, the present, and the future. There's about a whole lot that are intertwined and connected when you try to look at development and conservation, and side by side, how to ensure that we have a sustainable future in between those two. So when we refer to development, what is development itself? By many definitions, you can see development to be structural sometimes. You can see development also to be based on capacity growth. But by my own definition now, or by my perception, I think I would want to say that development now would be any alteration, to any object that causes the object to be different from the last scene, especially when this is in a positive direction. Of course, not all developments are positive, but because of the concern for sustainable future, as we are discussing today, that is why I want to say that the kind of alteration and modification to the existing body of any object on the planet, be it structural, be it behavioral, whatsoever form it takes, whatever changes that comes on the body that allows it to have a positive impact upon the society is what I define as development. And as we go on into it now, you will start to understand whether it is good development that we have now or whether it is bad development. One key area of my interest is conservation. And when we talk about conservation, conservation is very wide. And I think maybe the first thing that comes to mind when we hear about conservation is always about biodiversity, nature, uh, and maybe all the planetary uh, bodies. However, beyond that, conservation has to deal with even preserving your heritage, your cultural values, all right, and so much more that gives a relevance to our being, to our purpose. And that is why I told you when I was going to get started that this topic we are talking about today is one that has to do with the past, the present, and the future. So, how then, right until now, how has the previous generation, how has they lived so well or so badly that we are able to have the planet that we have now, and how can we do better or preserve and conserve the legacy they have left behind so that we are able to have a sustainable future. So when we look at the aspect of development now and try to look at the structural development, how do we build today? How do we construct roads? How do we ensure we situate every structures that we have in our diverse communities in a way that it integrates the conservation of biodiversity, plants, fauna, flora in their natural state without causing a migration or an extinction of a particular species? Needless that I say that right about now, one of the global concern is what is happening in the Amazonia because of the COP30 that is coming in Brazil. There has been a certain number of miles of the Amazonia that has been cleared to allow for the road that will be used for the purpose of COP30. So this is more like a concern of development and conservation. This forest that has been cleared now to allow for us to have now COP30 now is also a development matter. This is where we all sit together to discuss global matters that concerns the world about how we are able to achieve the 1.5 degrees Celsius. But because we needed to have this discussion now, we still have to tamper with, several years of plantations and green habitats for us to have this. And the same is what plays out in many urban areas. When you come to the urban settlements, in fact, more recently in the growing cities of the world, you realize that there has been little concern for greenery, for urban forests, for, when you talk about wetlands, there are a little concerns for all of this. People prefer now to build up the whole of the wetlands, cut down all the trees that you can have in cities so that we can have buildings, have roads, have rail lines. Of course, we know that all these things are essential. They are needful and they are just social amenities that would allow our life to get better. But can we learn? Can we look into the path of so many cities around the world that have continued to merge development and conservation side by side? Can we look at what is going on in Europe, how well they are, greening their cities, even side by side with development that continues to thrive within their cities? Can we look at Australia? How are they able to do it? And can we how are we doing with, so do not allow these items? I guess you missed me for like a second there. Usually, can you confirm if you can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
All right, fantastic. So, just to cut it short and to not bore us, so these are the matters that we want to look at today. How can we live better? How can we do things differently? How can we balance development and conservation? So, this is the discussion for this afternoon. And I guess I want to pass it over to Yetunde now for us to go into the discussion proper for this afternoon. Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Elpri's Roundtable series. So, yesterday, I guess we can go on from.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I was thrown out, but yes, the network cannot take me away from SDG Roundtable series. All right. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa. Thank you for that briefing. Yes, sure. There's a lot that we still need to do when it comes to development and conservation of natural things that we have. So before we dive into the discussion, I just want us to have like an icebreaker. Okay, and it to be like this. I want you to imagine yourself as a natural resource we own in the environment. It can be animals, tree, or anything conserve in our environment. And tell you're speaking to a human that please, oh, do this, do that. What is that message? humans are in your environment, are in your community. So I'm starting to understand the gimmick here. So here is it. But my message to humans is every one tree that you cut, please plant 10 more. So that is how it's looking like. So I am a tree trying to pass across to humans now is that please for every one tree that you cut, please more. So before you cut me, you have to plant more trees. So okay, hello. Oh, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. So sorry, that might be the network. So I understand what I said just now. So if you want to raise your hand so that you can speak and tell us, let's hear from you. We want to hear from all right, thank you. So once we hear from you, our natural resources that we have around the animals and everything, what message do you have for you? I've passed my own message because I am a tree away. I want to still be in the environment. I want to still continue to provide you oxygen for you to breathe well. So please plant 10 more. Let's go next. I am waiting. You can see Enokulu at gmail.com. Yes, you can have the mic right now.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me, please?
Good afternoon. I can hear you.
Okay, if you want to enjoy sound health, grow your own food. That's one. If you want to enjoy sound health, grow your own food. Then another one, teach the children how to recycle and reuse. Teach the children how to recycle and reuse. You have more quality presence in the environment and society. So that's
Oh, nice one. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes, you can actually drop it on the chat box. Also, we're actually advising humans here. We are representing those natural resources we have around us, those things that we need to conserve in our environment. And we are telling human, we are advising human to maintain us in the environment so that they can have a sustainable future. So I can take one more. Waiting. Oh, advise humans on how to conserve the environment. Okay. Nobody hope that people actually drop the icebreaker discussion on the chat box. So yes, we are driving straight to the discussion for today. And yes, I've said before now, same for this month is balancing development and we are looking at a pathway to a sustainable future. That's it. So I have so many interesting questions for us to discuss here on today. And okay, to start with, one of the question is why does it feel hard to why does it feel a community and economy without harming the environment? How can we do better? Why does it feel so hard sometimes to be an economy without, I mean, how can we do better? I hope you all got my question. Okay, yes, I want to see those that are willing to come to this discussion because it's very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, since anyone is not speaking, just to confirm that you are with us on this live section, please type on the chat box. On the chat box. Please, to confirm that you can hear me well, please drop 100 on the chat box. Okay. Thank you. All right, I will have to repeat the question. Don't worry. But I want to come clear actually with us. I want some more 100. Does that mean it's all? Oh, so sorry. That's the network. Okay, okay. Just hold on a second. Okay, so sorry. I had to I had to change my network. I hope you can all hear me now. Mr. Femi, please assist you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, you are doing great. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So sorry, guys. Please, I hope you can hear me very well now. All right, all right. Thank you. So just to confirm that you can still hear me, yes, please just drop 100 on the chat box. I'll repeat the question right now. All right, all right. Confirm. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my question once again is that why does it feel so hard sometimes to grow our communities and economy without harming the environment? Like, what can we do better? How can we do things better when we want to grow our communities and our economy without harming the environment? I hope you all get the question now. All right, Ebute can speak.
Learning.
Yeah, you can speak now.
For there to be at least conservation or to utilize the resources, the present generation and for the future generation to come and meet that resource, enjoy that resource, we have to live a sustainable lifestyle, first of all. Because if you did not have a sustainable lifestyle, you cannot preserve anything. A sustainable lifestyle enable us to preserve, that is, it will enable us to live a life that will preserve what? Resources. So the first thing first is for an individual to live a sustainable lifestyle. Then if an individual lives a sustainable lifestyle, then they can drag it towards national and global perspective. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for that contribution. Thank you so much. Yes, we'll be taking Eno Kolu. Please, if you would like to make your name visible instead of your email so that I can be able to pronounce that well. I'm so sorry. Yes, but you can
Okay,
speak now.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You can just say Ene.
Okay, okay.
I did not know anything about matrix.
For me,
So
when
that
you
this matrix,
asked the question, the first thought that ran in my head was, um, what do we call sustainable living in our communities, especially in Africa, especially in Nigeria? I am opportune to have a mother who is a botanist, and she grew some plants around the house. So that was my first, introduction to something like that. I didn't know what it was
Yeah.
called. Everywhere I live, even where I live here, I still have small, flowers I'll put in the pot and go maybe curry leaves somewhere like that. Because for me, it was just normal to go like that. But I find out that among my peers, a lot of people see it as dirty. A lot of people see it as stressful. Do you understand? Why would I do this? And then when I can actually go to the market. So I was trying to explain to them, the medicinal benefits and the purification of the air because I have a plant oxygen, you live longer, you live healthier. So first off is I think one of the things that makes is because I'm a strong agitator for agriculture, especially for the children. Okay, I now ship children between the ages of 10 to 15 to grow their own food, to understand what it means to kill the earth, keep the environment clean, to understand the reason why they're leaving that tree alive in the bucket. So I feel that it's your duty as a teacher. For me, a teacher means you are immortal. I'm not comparing us to God. However, when you do your work, you leave into the world. So why it's challenging is because few of us are educated. I'm speaking for us in Nigeria about this. Now the education is coming. Most of us, for instance, myself, I'm in the city center. So to make this more effective, most people in the city center, they are doing about the living. But if I go into the rural area and I say, okay, this thing you're doing here is beautiful. This garden you have, I'm beautiful. Wow, this food you're growing here is beautiful. Not cutting down, these trees are beautiful. I'm going to have more, audience. So our education sector, everything is digital here right now. That some children don't even know the difference between synthetic photographs. I'm speaking from experience. I'm sorry. Me too. Yeah, I think we have more burden. I'm speaking from my own experience. I was able to speak to one or two students that were one picked SDGs. I did that before once on vacation, and he had to make me to join what they call it and Snapchat so we could communicate. That's the only way he's allowed to communicate at home. But unfortunately,
Right, all right. Thank you so
the dream. So thank you so much. So there are a lot of them. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons. There are a lot of reasons. So these are just little of the ones that I can say I know from my environment and being. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ene. Thank you for making that contribution. Let's have you, Christine. Christine, are you there? Okay, before we have Christine, can see Pulang here saying developing economics face a dilemma.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, but please hold on. Let me just read what is on the chat first. Okay, Pulang says developing economics face a dilemma where social development priorities are currently far more pressing. This is the case for individuals in their daily lives, where survival takes up a great deal of one's energy. Research shows that environment initiatives and indicators are lagging behind. True, that is so true, because we focus more on developing, but we don't focus on conservation. Yes, let's have it, Christine.
Okay, thank you so much. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I come from rural Uganda. So, as the question says, how can we live in harmony with the environment? I think that is the subject matter of the question. So, where I come from, like in the rural area, people used to cut trees to burn them and sell them for charcoal as their source of livelihood, and this in turn harms the environment. So these people are low income people, and maybe if they could provide them with alternatives to earn money, like get another source of income, for example, our government and the policymakers would introduce things like seedling, where you find like a former charcoal burner now is planting trees instead of cutting them for charcoal. And in Uganda, we have our delicacy called bananas. And those peelings, we can use them for charcoal instead of cutting down trees. Maybe these people don't understand how to do them, but if maybe they are being trained to use other methods that are fuel insufficient and for clean cooking, this would save the environment from harming the trees and contributing to climate change. I think that's it, and others could perhaps add on. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for contributing. Okay, I can see from YouTube here, and Musa is saying it can be done by investing in green jobs. It means that we are to support sectors like renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, ecotourism, and waste management. Wow, that is awesome. Those are the things that we need to focus more on so that we can manage these resources that we have in our surrounding. Okay, I can see Ifon says we can grow our community economy without harming the environment by using renewable energy, reducing waste, recycling, and support local businesses. They can also well care for our environment. Yes, these are very, very important. It's very, very important. And I can also read here that okay, Pulang is also saying soil conservation is psychological, not prioritized, as people even rely on natural resources to have a livelihood. Exactly, just as Christine just said, that some people cut trees for living without even thinking of planting other trees to sustain the trees that they are cutting. So it's a lot of app on us, and we need to maintain that. Bridget is saying, Bridget from Malawi, I don't know if, okay, you're saying I don't know if I got the question right, but my view can be design products and systems so materials are reused, refurbished, and recycled rather than just disposing them. Yes, you're on the right path. And here we are just actually discussing about how we make development happen, how we sustain our economy while we are not harming our environment, while we are not harming the natural resources that we get from our environment. Okay, sorry, Pulen, we might not be able to take your hands now because we still have some questions or other questions to treat. So right now I can see that yes, we are there. So we are already seeing why some people it feels so hard for some people or some community to not to harm the environment. So right now, how do we make sure that businesses and governments grow in a way that respects the earth, but not just profit from it? Yes, we know businesses earn from all these, from tree cutting, from every other business that does nylon bags and all this. They are into businesses and they keep doing all this that are harmful. But in another way, how do we grow these businesses without harming the environment, so that we won't just be focusing on the profits, but we also respect the earth that is giving us all these resources to maintain. So my question is, how do we make sure that businesses and governments grow in a way that respect the earth, not just profits? I hope you get that question. Okay, I can see Onye's hand up. Onye, let's have you.
Okay, good evening all. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Like in the rural environment where I live in Nigeria, I think we have rivers and streams that have been heavily polluted by this nylon, pure water sachets. And formerly, these streams used to be one of the source of drinking water. But these days, the pollution is much that people even find it difficult to use it for baths. So I think one of the things that can be done, because it bothers me whenever I go to the streams, I feel worried. I feel that it pains me so much, because I know that we don't have pipe-borne water here. That's just the river we have. And we can't, everybody is drinking sachet water these days. So I think one of the things that can be done, because when you tell a lot of people, don't pour refuse inside the stream, they don't understand. They will ask you, where will I throw away those refuse? So I think one of the things is strict laws. If these companies can maybe can find a way that anybody, after using their products, they should that people there will be another way of harvesting those packets, like recycling. Yes, let it become like everybody should be aware of that whenever, after drinking water, you should put it back into the sachet and submit it back to the company. I think it will be very well, so that after drinking those sachets in your house, instead of throwing it away, you return it back to where you buy it. Then they know how to recycle it. I think that's one of the ways we can help in controlling this. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Oye. That was a very good example, and you can imagine the harm that it's causing to the environment, to the water itself, to even the people in the community. So if this is not manageable, it will, and they are selling sachet water there now. So the nylon that is coming out of the sachet water is blocking the natural water that people are using. You can imagine how harmful that is into the environment. And okay, Christine is saying introduce fines on unnecessary dumping of waste and settling up collection recycling center. Yes, that is very, very important. And one of the things I think that would work for that environment also is when, just as Moya said, that the companies need to collect back the waste, the nylon bag, the plastic bag to them. I tell them, okay, we are returning the plastic bag for us to recycle, you'll be getting some incentive. I think that would also drive people to return back the plastic bag so that it can be reusable, or make it a way where people have their containers where they can get the water. So what they do is just buy water, right? But it won't be in the plastic water, in the plastic nylon or the plastic bag, but instead maybe a bottle for them to refill and use for their uses at home and other things. So it's to reduce the waste that is it's being consumed in the environment. Okay, I can see Falaba here. She said we need to put purpose before profits. Yes, I love that. We need to put purpose before profit. This simply means we are to build our businesses around solving a real problem, like reducing waste, providing clean energy, and supporting small farmers. I think these are some of the ways that we have to follow. Yes, thank you so much, Falaba. That was very, very important. Okay. Okay, and I saying everything succeeds or crashed based on management, which is this case can be regarded as the government's policies and law that will enhance sustainable living, going green, reducing carbon footprint, recycling, reducing, and increase the use of green energy sources, and more should be enforced and properly supervised. Anybody else that comes into your country would naturally follow the pattern. Yes, definitely. And the thing is it's we that we own the environment that we do more harm to the environment. Do more harm to the environment. Please let's manage that. Okay, okay, let me check. Okay, Pulang says the current sustainability M&E framework used to measure companies and governments are not sustainable to identify the extent of the damage that is being done. How then can we remedy or even penalize wrongdoers? Yes, I think this is where the monitoring and evaluation needs to come in, where they check in for companies and make them understand that they need to input sustainability into their businesses so that everything that they are doing or anything that they choose to do doesn't harm the environment. So this is also important. Thank you very much, guys, for contributing to that question. I have two more questions to go so that I won't waste much of your time today. Okay, so my question now is, what are the, as we have said before, we have gave different kind of example of how we can actually sustain our environment. How can we help young people understand that protecting the environment is just as important as the economic success? Because yes, we are talking about this now. We still need to make people understand how can we help young people, because I think young people they have the large quantity in every country. So young people are more in every country. So how do we make them understand for them to put this into habit so that they can start protecting the environment, so that they can know that the environment is much more as important as the economic success? Anyone who wants to contribute to that? Oh, okay, Tolu, thank you for contributing. She's saying enforcing the polluters pay principles. Oh, that's going to be helpful. Okay, so how do we encourage youth this? Okay, Christine is raising her hand. Yes, you have the mic.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe one more we could create awareness about environment, sustainability, and climate change. Previously, we were told to introduce the SDG clubs in school, which I hope other teachers did, like I did. And then we go ahead and show examples of how other regions have been affected due to climate changes. You show them videos, you show them pictures, make them serious, learn by seeing what is happening in other countries, maybe in their area. For example, in Uganda, there is a landfill that killed people. A whole community, people died because of the landfill that had been there for almost like 20 years. So when these children are taught what is underground and there is evidence, I think maybe they can really see what is happening, and they change to sustainable styles of living, and they be conscious about the environment. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for that, Christine. It is very, very important that we educate our youth on what they need to do. Ebute Vincent, yes, you can speak.
Yeah, thank you very much. As the last speaker just said, creating awareness and educating people is very, very important. And then, apart from that, last time we did like doing it as if you are preaching the gospel. Yes, we try to do it as if you also preach the gospel. Not just do it, you also do it just like living by an example. You also should be an example for other person. As you are passing the message, you also live by example for others to follow. Because anything that worth doing who are doing
Yeah.
very well. So as we are
Mm.
enlightening people, educating people, also be practicalized. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that contribution. That was important. Like, I don't think we can do without educating them. All right, Mr. Femi. Yes, you can have the mic now.
Yes, well done, Yetunde, and thank you
Yes, sir.
everyone that has been speaking. It has been wonderful and also. So I just want to say something regarding this question. And the last speaker really mentioned my first point that the number one thing is we must live by example. If we want the younger generation to emulate what we are
Yeah.
doing, it's not enough to um, campaign. It's not enough to reach out. It's not enough to advocate. But actions speak louder than voice. So when we live by example, it will help us to catch the younger generation. And my second thought was captured by Tolu in our chat. She said we have to catch them young by introducing environmental education in schools. We should make green economic job attractive. So now the first point she mentioned was my second point, that is environmental education in schools. Now, young people go to school, and this part of the courses we have in school is civil engineering, architecture, building, all these all these courses, they work around community building, which affects the environment directly. So as an architect, a student that is studying architecture, civil engineering students, all those builders, estate managers, quantity surveyor, and all that, in their curriculum, let them have green building construction. Let them be well taught. Even in technical drawing that we have in secondary schools, let us have all those courses integrated into our curriculum system. So by the time we begin to tell this in classroom, of course, they will write exam about it. Definitely, they want to read about it. So you never can tell the amount of knowledge they themselves will begin to dig out as a result of their personal studies. So it's so important that we drive it down to the foundation, not just speaking about it in the air. We should live it and ensure that we make it to be part of our educational system so that by the time I bring my idea to an architect that, okay, I have this social amount of billion of dollars. I want to have this company. I want to have this building. Now, when he is making up that plan for me, when he's drawing, when he's trying to get me the structure of my designs, he will definitely put the sustainable elements. He will put the trees where we should have trees. He will definitely visit the site. The tree that is there that ought not to be cut. He will advise me. Even if I'm trying to be stubborn, he will try to look for a way, as an expert, he will try to look for a way to convince his clients that this is very important. You have to have this in your house, just as you are advising that cement everywhere so that your house will be clean. You will also be able to preach that have grasses everywhere so that your house will be cool. In fact, you don't need to buy AC, you don't need to buy much fan by the time you have your
Mm.
structure built like this. A reasonable
Yeah.
client will think in that direction and want to buy into the idea. But the foundation start from school, integrated into that. So thank you,
Mm.
everybody. You are doing a wonderful job. And to participate on YouTube, yes, we are reading your comments. Well done. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. And I can read a comment from the YouTube now. It's saying, engage youth in environment awareness by highlighting income opportunities in green jobs, eco business, and sustainable agriculture. That was very, very straightforward. Yes. Okay. Somebody said the young people should be enlightened about the benefits and negative effects of pollution. Very important. For me, I think, okay, and it's saying for me, I think they should understand that their environment bets their economy. Yeah. Their environment gives back to their economy. They should be made to know this is school at home and in peer groups. They should know that if their environment is not balanced and functional, they would not have and unstable, and they won't have stable economy. Yeah, yes, that is very, very important. Tolu, thank you very much. We saw your contribution. So you said we have to catch them young. Yes, definitely. You have to start from their schools, from where they are young, what they see that you're doing, just as Mr. Femi has said, and someone has also pinpointed out that we need to start doing things, show them by example. They do what you're doing. These young people see what is happening, so they are ready to do what you're doing. So do well to be a good example. We should also make green economy job attractive, so it won't be seen as sector for the poor. Yeah. All right. Fulang is saying awareness breeds consciousness. System that model and incentive chain behavior from government school to the school, government down to schools. Yes. Okay, followed by say we can start with education and awareness through the following means. Teach them about climate change, pollution, recycling, and conservation as we are talking here. Yes, we are always doing that. Youth school, youth group, social media, events, music, drama, and sports to pass the message. Keep it practical. Show what you're doing. Show the small action, and it leads to a big change. Yes, thank you very much for that. That is why ADF Africa is always having a program every year. We call it Eco 30, which there's a challenge for 30 days. You have to embark on one sustainable habit in a day. It's either, okay, you going to a local store or managing water at home. You know, these are the programs to help you be aware. When you're aware of the things that you think it doesn't matter before, now matters now. You know how to manage the water, you manage the resources, you plant trees, you plant flowers in your environment. These are one of the programs that promotes us encouraging us our environment. Okay, Miss Mark, you're raising your hands. And yes, you can have your contribution now as we move closer to rounding up. All right, Miss Mark.
Thank you very much. So for me, I think as young people, growing up, of course, we want to be financially free, and we will do, we will do everything to achieve that. So I think in order to economically be successful and then also protect the environment, there are other young people who has already done it, and they are making billions, millions of dollars in this world. So I think our authorities, I mean, policymakers, and then of course, in our educational system, there is the need to highlight these young innovators. So these people making money from sustainability, there is a need to teach the young people, use them as an example, then tell them, okay, this is what these people are making. Like, for instance, I mean, we want a career that pays and then saves the planet. By then, other people are also doing it. How you can look at someone like Boyan's lads. Those guys, they were cleaning is it the ocean cleanup. They started at 18 years, and now they are running millions, almost 50 plus millions projects cleaning oceans while they are selling plastic recycled waste. The waste that we are throwing in the oceans, they are recycling them and then selling them to us again, and they are making millions of it. So for me, I think it's really important we teach like what IDEV is doing. I think in terms of the economical aspects, we should highlight more on that. Those people who have already achieved billions of dollars, who have achieved their financial success through sustainability programs. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Bismarck. Thank you. That was so powerful. Okay, Bridget is saying we can have an awareness campaign educating people on how we can conserve the environment, mostly educating them on how products can be recycled, how water can be preserved, even telling them how poisonous it is to dump materials anyhow. Yes, all this boils down to education. Yes, we need to educate them, make awareness, and show them how it's being done so that they can continue the process and maintain the environment. Also, okay, as we are rounding up for this section for today, I just have one more question, and I would like every one of us to actually answer that question, because yes, we don't just want to talk about this, we want to start taking actions. So, in what little but powerful action can each of us take to protect the planet while still supporting growth in the communities? In what little but powerful action can each of us take to protect the planet while still supporting growth in the economy? Oh, okay. Let's have you, Solu.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For me, I live in a what we call upstairs, right? So my place is tiled. There is no soil around where I live. So, but because of my knowledge of environmental sustainability, I have sack just on my balcony where I plant tomato, I plant yes, I plant pepper. I even plant okra. I plant okra. At a time, I got very well. I bought a pawpaw, and I was like, let me just plant it, and the thing grew. I had to go outside the fence to plant it where there is soil, and everybody is enjoying it now. Everybody is enjoying it. I think with this, in fact, with this, my neighbor had to start his own also. So that is, I have affected him. That is like a mind shift, a mind training, right? And I think that is what every one of us need at one point or the other. Because there is this thing that we already have that we see the Western world and we just want to copy them. But when we see the better aspect of our own indigenous way, or that our forefathers actually keep the earth balance, we will love it. But because our attention has been focused on the urban area, oh, everywhere is tiled, I don't need to cut grass when there is rain, I don't need to do this. But by the time you see the benefit that, okay, you can plant something here and then you have the benefits, I think that is going to also pay off. So since I have the mic, I just want to use this opportunity and say something about.
Yes, thank you so much. And please, Tolu, you have to give me your address. I need to come and do some harvesting in your house.
No problem, no
All
problem.
right.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much, Tolu,
When I was in school, we did a project to try
doesn't
and
have
segregate our waste. And I want to say that in waste management, we actually need individual and also the government and also the waste authority. As students, we try to have the place where we segregate waste, but when the waste collectors come, you know what they do? They put all the waste together again.
Together, yes.
So it's actually a challenge, and I know we are going to get there one day.
Yeah, we'll get there. Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you for the contribution. And then please, you just 30 seconds to make your contribution.
Thank you. Okay, my little way of making the change is right from my classroom. All the children in my class that I teach year in, year out, they know I recycle. I recycle boxes, I recycle plastic bottles, I recycle cartons, I recycle cardboard. So even around my house, my neighbors bring things for me to recycle. They say, I know you will use this one. And they bring it to me. The children started bringing it to me from their house.
Wow.
So also that you can do this. And when we give them projects, we give examples of what they have to do. Like the one I did this last term had to do with things around your house that had maybe 3D shapes. So recycling is one of the best things that I do. I award for being the most resourceful staff when it comes to recycling. So thank you very much. That's my
That's
only
awesome. Thank
the
you,
work.
Annette. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that will be
Well,
all for the question for today. And thank you all for contributing for those that are on the Zoom link and on the YouTube link. Thank you so much. Olufunke, okay. Because you have not spoken before, I'm going to give you just 30 seconds to speak before we round up.
Yeah, thank you for this privilege. I just want to chip in one or two things concerning this environmental, the way we can help the environment to protect the planet. I have turkeys. I raise turkeys. I use their droppings to fertilize my farm. I have a farm at the back of my house, and at the same time, the poultry droppings, I use it on my farm. Then I also separate food waste. I separate them. The biodegradable food waste, I use it to feed the turkey. Apart from their feed, I also use that to. Then all other ones that are non-biodegradable, like the nylons, the cartons, the bottles, we use it so much in the school. It has really reduced the cost of buying all these the resources, the teaching aids in the school. So what we do is that all those things, the children, they are happy, they are recreating, they are recycling, they are jumping up, they are happy. So everything is just going on well. So I think more of talking to people, talking to children, educating them with so much help in order to protect the planet. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Olufunke. Okay, Viola, please, yeah, please don't use more than 30 seconds, please. Viola, are you there? Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear
right.
me, please?
Yes, yes, I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity, moderator. Me, what I do is I try to be brief. I'm a student at university. I sleep in a hostel whereby we tend to have a lot of plastic bottles from where we buy things from shops and everywhere. So what I've tried.
Hello, Viola. I can't hear you from here, Viola. Seems it's the network. So sorry, you can put it, your discussion on the chat box. Why I give Mr. Femi the mic to give us some recommendation before we close out for this program. Mr. Femi, you're welcome again, sir.
Thank you so much, Yetunde. Thank you, everyone that has contributed to this discussion. I really enjoyed all our points. They are solid ones. They are so important, and it is time for us to take action. So we should not just end it by discussing, by talking about it, by giving examples. And I love the action that some of us are already applying. So it's awesome. So to just round it off, let's increase our advocacy, let's increase our action. So one of the ways you can increase your advocacy, if you're a teacher, you have access to a lot of students. So one of the things you can do in one of the extracurriculum activities day, the social gathering day, you can decide to pick one of these dialogue and play it for them. The link are all available everywhere. So you can look for platforms where dialogues like these has been initiated. So have them gathered around, play it for them, let them listen to people. So they get to hear stories from different angles. That's another way you can advocate. So it's not necessarily that you have to put the thinking stress on yourself on what am I going to say, how am I going to go about this. Just getting all these discussions, play it with them, share it with people, put it on your social media platform, share the links, get involved. That's one way you can advocate. Another thing is just like the last speaker said, like Olufunke said, in schools, engage with them also by practicing farming in schools at home. practice farming at home, like Tolu said, and everyone. So let's just keep doing it in the little way we can. People will keep observing, and once they see results, trust me, they will join you. So when you want to build your house, also have the environment in mind. So don't put everything in, don't let everywhere be concrete. Where if cement price go down, don't say because cement is very cheap now, let me buy more. And no, buy grass, buy tree, buy fruits. It will even reduce your expenses on buying things outside. Now we have mango all around. So instead of buying mango, you can plug as many as you wish in your backyard, even supply your friends. In fact, if you have it in abundance, you can start selling, and that's another income for you. So let's get into action and let us live a sustainable life. Thank you, everyone, once again, on behalf of ADF Africa and our powerful program coordinator, Yetunde Denied. You are doing well. And everyone that has contributed via WhatsApp, via YouTube and Zoom. We sincerely appreciate your presence. Thank you, and we look forward to having you next month for another interesting dialogue. Keep living sustainably. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. Thank you for the contribution and the recommendation too. Yes, as we have all heard, please let's just talk about it. Let's start doing it. The little we do becomes the big impact that we have in our community. Thank you all for the contribution. I really appreciate everyone who has contributed and who has been on this call for this discussion today. So please stay tuned as we'll be having another SDG Roundtable series next month. Please stay connected with ADF Africa as we'll be sharing flyers and other programs that we'll be having on ADF Africa. You can follow us on every other social media handles. And yes, you can ask a question there. I'll be there to answer you. Once again, I am Yetunde Jina, the Program Associate for ADF Africa. It's nice to have you all on this call this time. Yes, then because we are having different people from different countries with different time zones. Yes, it's an honor to have you here once again. Have a wonderful evening and do well to stay sustainable. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. It was a very interesting and impactful session. Thank you a lot.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Stay sustainable.
Thank you.
Of us when I say sorry. Sorry we left you with our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our own doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing. I hope you forgive us. We just didn't realize how special the earth was. Like a marriage gone wrong. We didn't know what we had until it was gone. For example, I'm guessing you probably know it as the Amazon desert, right? Well, believe it or not, it was once called the Amazon rainforest, and there were billions of trees there, all of them gorgeous. And oh, you don't know much about trees, do you? Well, let me tell you, trees are amazing. We literally breathe the air they are creating. They clean up our pollution, our carbon. They store and purify water, give us medicine that cures our diseases, food that feeds us, which is why I'm so sorry to tell you that we burn them down. Cut them down with brutal machines, horrific, at a rate of 40 football fields every minute. That's 50% of all the trees in the world gone in the last 100 years. Why? For this. And that wouldn't make me so sad if it weren't so many pictures of leaves on it. You know, when I was a child, I read how the Native Americans had such consideration for the planet that they felt responsible for how they left the land for the next 7 generations. Which brings me great sorrow because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we put profit above people, greed above need, the rule of gold above the golden rule. I'm sorry we use nature as a credit card with no spending limit, overdrafting animals to extinction, stealing your chance to ever see their uniqueness or become friends with them. Sorry we poison the ocean so much that you can't even swim in them. But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset because we had the nerve to call this destruction progress. Hey, Fox News, if you don't think climate change is a threat, I dare you to interview the thousands of homeless people in Bangladesh. See, while you were in your penthouse nestled, their homes were literally washed away beneath their feet due to rising sea levels. And Sarah Palin, you said that you love the smell of fossil fuels. Well, I urge you to talk to the kids of Beijing who are forced to wear pollution masks just to go to school. See, you can ignore this, but the thing about truth is, it can be denied, not avoided. So I'm sorry, future generations. I'm sorry that our footprint became a sinkhole and not a garden. I'm sorry that we paid so much attention to ISIS and very little to how fast the ice is melting in the Arctic. I'm sorry we doomed you, and I'm sorry we couldn't find another planet in time to move to. You know what? Cut the beat. I'm not sorry. This future, I do not accept it because an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How? Let me suggest that if a farmer sees a tree that is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it, they look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root and not to the branches of government, not to the politicians run by corporations. We are the root, we are the foundation. This generation, it is up to us to take care of this planet. It is our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climate of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature. We are a part of nature. And to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us. Because whatever you're fighting for, racism or poverty, feminism, gay rights, or any type of equality, it won't matter in the least. Because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we will be equally extinct. So.